Hi Hardik, how are you?
Yeah, very fine.
I'm good too. So Hardik, can you tell us something about yourself?
Yes, sir. My name is Hardik Thanti. I have completed my MSCIT from Saurashtra University in 2014, sir. After that, due to some family problems, I don't continue to IT career. But now I am committed to have a IT career and do software testing course.
Okay, okay. So why are you looking for making your career in the field of software testing?
Yeah, I always have a passion for testing, so that's
Mhm. Okay, you have passion, but did you test any of the live websites? Did you test any of the mobile applications or any of the softwares?
yeah, I have tested one e-commerce site.
You have tested one e-commerce website. So can you explain in brief what all things you have tested, what all findings you had, what were your observations?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, yes, Hardik, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have tested source demo site for testing. I prepare scenarios and testing all functionalities.
Okay, right. So what do you mean by a primary key in SQL? What is the purpose of the primary key?
Primary key means a unique field.
Mhm.
Then define primary key, so that field should be unique.
Right. So primary key is a value which is unique for every record in the table, right?
Yeah.
Then what is foreign key?
Foreign key, sir, no, no,
Sorry, Arthik, can you please
I
come?
don't know.
Yeah,
Hello.
what is foreign key?
Foreign key, I don't know, sir.
Okay, okay. So let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. What is mean by foreign key in SQL? Right? What is the purpose of having foreign key? Right. Okay. Now, let's say in SQL, you have to do some you have to do some transactions related to date and time, right? So, which are the different SQL data types available for date and time? SQL functions available for date and time.
Date, uh, date, date, data type. Date. We can specify data type.
Mhm. Okay, so that is an inbuilt function, get date, right? So, what is the difference between get date and get UTC date?
Sorry,
What is the difference between the two?
sorry, sir, I don't know.
Okay, okay, no worries. See, this is a mock interview. Even if you don't know the answer of the question, so we will be helping you with the answer. But going forward, please learn SQL because this type of questions will be asked to you in a real-time interview, right? We want you to succeed in the real-time interview. Okay. Now, see, get date. So as you answered it very correctly, it returns server date and time, right? Now get UTC date. So it will return date and GMT time. What is GMT? So that is Greenwich Mean Time, right? So it's kind of a UTC date. Okay. Now, similarly, you can be asked question on sys date time and date time offset. So what is the difference between two SQL functions, these two functions, sys date time and sys date time offset? Do you want me to answer? Okay, okay. So sys date time, it will return the server's date and time, right? Now sys date time offset, it will return the server's date and time along with the UTC offset, right? So it is, if you append offset in that function of sys date time, it will return the server's date and time along with the UTC offset also. So that is the difference between the two. Okay, now I'm writing one query. Okay, so you need to tell me what will be the output of this particular query. Yeah, is my screen visible? Hello, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Now.
Okay. So what will be the output of this particular query? So I have declared one test variable, right? Save our planet, and I'm printing. So what will be the output of this? Is this readable? Should I increase the font?
No, no, sir.
Readable? What would be the output
I,
of this? Hmm.
I think it should print save our planet.
Output will be?
Save our planet, sir.
Are you sure?
I think so, sir.
See, this will give you an error because you are declaring test variable, right? But you are printing some different thing. E is missing from this variable value, variable spelling, right? So it will give you an error. Now, if I would have mentioned like this, then the output would be save our planet, right? So yeah, so this kind of questions, SQL related questions can be asked to you in an interviews. Okay. This is good. Now I'm writing a different query. Now is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now I have this table and there are some duplicate entries, duplicate records in this table, right? So I have to delete this duplicate records from the table. So what will be the SQL query?
So delete from employee.
Delete?
Where
Yeah.
from
But
employee?
delete star from employee, then it will delete everything, right?
No, delete from employee.
Delete from employee. Okay. Then,
Where first name equal to James.
sorry, can you please come again?
Where first name equal to James.
Where first name equal to James. Okay. Then,
Yeah, sir. That's it.
so you are telling you will be writing the query. Let me show you the answer also. Now is my screen visible?
No, sir.
Not yet. Okay. Let me check. Okay. Now, as you can see, still it is not visible to you, right?
No, no, sir.
Um, hmm. Now, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So see, the James record that is kept over here, that is not just one record, it's multiple records, right? So the records are greater than one, are more than one, right? So you will have to execute this kind of entry. Sorry, query with city, first name, last name, country, duplicate count, right? And you will keep this database name where duplicate count greater than one. So this would be the kind of the query that you will be placing, right? Because you have to remove everything, not just first name, last name, country also. See, in this table, first name James, last name Barry, sorry, yes, last name Barry, third name is UK. So everything we have to delete, right? So we can put query like this. Okay. Now, what do you mean by software testing life cycle?
Software testing, software development life cycle.
Software testing life cycle.
Software testing life cycle is a life cycle for tester only. It has a various phases like the requirement analysis, test planning, test case development,
Hmm.
test environment setup, test execution, and test cycle.
Right, right. So can you elaborate and can you tell me what happens in each and every phase? So when you say test case execution, so what happens in that?
Yeah, in test case execution, we have to execute the test case that we develop.
In test case execution, what you we have to do?
We have to execute our test cases that we have developed.
Okay, okay. And when you will develop the test cases, in which phase you will design the test cases?
Yeah, after getting requirement and all planning have done, then after we first prepare a test scenario. After that, we can prepare test cases.
Mhm. Okay. So whenever you get this question in a real-time interview, what is software testing life cycle, right? So you have to explain what it is. So software testing life cycle is a systematic approach to testing some particular application or a software to make sure that it meets the requirements, right? And it has various phases. Then you can tell about the phases like test planning, test analysis, test design, test environment setup, test execution, test closure, and defect retesting, right? Now, each of these stages will have their own activities. They will have certain deliverables, which you will have to tell in an interview, right? So in a detail, you have to answer this kind of question. For example, what happens in test planning, right? So can you elaborate what happens in test planning?
Yeah, in test planning, first of all, we have to define the requirement,
Hmm.
and after that, uh, planning means what the what are the tools needed for that. We have to specify that, and resources, schedule, and what activities will perform, who will perform. So that all the activities should be in test planning.
See, in the test planning, the various activities that will take place are identifying the testing objectives and scope. So that is the first thing. What you have to test, right? What is the scope of the testing? What all things you have to test? Then developing a test strategy, right? Then identifying the test environment. Then identifying the test cases that will be executed and the test data that you will be using, right? Then identifying the test deliverables and their timelines, right? Then time and cost that is required. Then you will also review and get the approval on the test plan, right? Now, so these are all the activities that are required in the test planning, right? So after this test planning also, by the end of this particular activity or this particular phase or this particular stage, you can say that you will have a detailed level of approved test plan with you, right? So that's how you have to explain. Okay, now what is test data?
This data is that we have to input various type of data for testing. For example, if we have a login, so we check the login with valid username, valid password. Sometimes it's invalid username and valid password. Sometimes both invalid. So this is for testing.
Okay, fine. So in the test data, you will have test data for positive happy path as well as for negative testing. So both the testing you will be doing, right? Positive as well as negative. So for both the testing, you need to have test data, right? Now, what is the difference between positive and negative testing?
In positive testing, we have to input the valid username and valid password, for example. And in negative test cases, we have to provide invalid username and invalid password or a combination of things.
So, see, positive testing is when you will be doing happy path testing, right? It you will be testing with respect to the flow of the application, right? That you will be confirming that your application works as expected, right? If the error is encountered during positive testing, then the test fails. While negative testing will ensure that your application can gracefully handle the invalid input or unexpected user behavior, right? So that gracefully handling of those errors or invalid inputs, that is tested in the negative testing, right? And in the positive testing, it is done to verify the known set of test conditions, right? You know that this particular flow or this particular test data needs to be tested. While negative testing is always done to break the project and product with the unknown set of test conditions. Can you give me an example of positive and negative testing?
Positive example, for example, if we provide the valid username and valid password, then it is positive. If we provide invalid username or invalid password, then it is negative.
Okay. So let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video, right? You need to put in the comment section of this video what are any one example of positive as well as negative testing, right? Okay. Now, what is the difference between smoke and sanity testing?
Sir, in smoke testing, we have to check the critical functionality of the application. And we have to check the stability, whether it is stable for further checking or not. In sanity testing, we have to check the new functionality of the application. If due to this functionality, other functionalities would not be impacted. So that we have to check in sanity.
Right. So sanity testing is nothing but it's a detailed level of testing, right? Whereas smoke testing is a high level testing. Um, Now let me share my screen. I am opening one web application and you have to tell me high level test scenarios. How will you test this particular website? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Now, how will you test this website?
First of all, I will check the logo is displaying properly or not. HDFC Bank logo.
Okay. What else?
After that, yeah, the welcome message. It is working properly, it is clickable or not. After that, whether we can insert the ID password ID or not. It is clickable or not. After that, forgot customer ID, I will verify. After that, continue. After that, don't have HDFC Bank saving account. Then after credit card only. Then after prepaid card only. And then after retail loan only. After that, no more situation, no more. First time you register now.
So all those links are working or not? That's what you are testing.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Hardik, that is coming to your mind?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. So see the look and feel of this particular website that you will be testing first, right? Then you will enter the customer ID, you will enter the user ID, you will test with a valid, you will test with the invalid, you will test with a customer ID that is present, you will test with a customer ID which is been which was created but then it was deleted. Or you can also test with a customer ID which is inactive. You can test with a user ID which is inactive, right? Then you can click on continue button and you can verify what happens. Then then you can verify the forgot customer ID is working properly or not. Then all those links, credit card, prepaid card, retail loan, no more, register now, those all things you will verify. The UI UX of this website you will verify. You will verify this website is working fine in the other browsers and in the mobile applications, Android, iOS, mobile devices, right? So those all things you will be doing testing. Okay, Hardik, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Sir, one question. I want to know about the coverage, sir.
Regarding coverage.
Yes.
So what is coverage? So in what sense?
Yeah, statement coverage and condition coverage.
So see, these are all the white box testing techniques, right? Statement coverage is there. Then decision made based coverage is there. So what happens in statement coverage is how many statements can lead you to the final output, right? So those all statements you will be calculating. And there is a formula for both of them. Again, in decision also, it depends on how many if else conditions are there in the code. So that's how you will be coming out with certain conditions and then you will be writing test cases for them. Right? Then similarly, you will also have branch coverage. You will have cyclomatic complexity. Right. So these all things are there. Okay. So thank you so much, Hardik, and wish you all the best for your career.
Thank you, sir.